Good morning, everyone. The time being 9 a.m. on Wednesday, February 25th, I'd like to call the Kane County Finance and Budget Committee meeting to order. Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Should be here.
Lewis, Penesis,
Penesis here.
Surges,
Surges is here.
Pepe,
Pepe here.
Sanchez,
Sanchez present.
Leonard,
Leonard here.
Roth.
Roth is here.
Have a quorum. Thank you very much. Mr. Surges is going to be attending remotely. He has a qualified excused absence, so I'd like your permission to allow him into the meeting and the ability to vote. Is there any objection to that?
No objection.
Seeing none, welcome, Cliff. Moving on, before we get into business, I'd like to, got a nice announcement to make and one we're all very happy with. We have a new member of the Finance Committee, Ted Penesis. So, Mr. Penesis, thank you very much for joining us.
Happy to be.
Moving on, I need a unanimous consent for the approval of the minutes from January 28th, 2026.
Sanchez asked for unanimous consent to approve the minutes.
Any objections, concerns, comments? Seeing none, the minutes are approved. Under public comment, we have one person to speak, Ms. Ginger Romano.
Good morning. Something occurred to me and I realized that we, the people, the taxpayers, are the investors and shareholders, if you will, of the corporation we call Kane County. And the elected board members are to answer to the shareholders to make sure the business is solvent and being run in a fiscally responsible manner. Not to rubber stamp the wishes of the employees of the corporation and try to figure out how to get more money from the shareholders. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I've been hearing that with the next census of 2030, Illinois is going to lose another congressional seat, maybe two. That means the population is dwindling. Possibly the population of Kane County is dwindling. I've seen Chicago become a wasteland and people moving out this way because it's cheaper, while the people that have lived here for decades find it getting more expensive to stay here. And hopefully the people that move out here don't make here like there. So how can you even think of expanding or spending more money the shareholders don't don't have to give, and stick to what you're supposed to do instead of making Kane County Corporation bigger. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Moving on, I'd like to have our treasurer's report, Mr. Lawson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee and the public. We can't vote on the three items for today. Number one, and we can't vote on it, but it's a resolution to pay for the printing and distribution of the property tax bills. The state's attorney's office says, that under the internal control statute, don't need to come for permission, but it's a courtesy because it's an important item for all of us. I bring it to the committee and ask for your support. Can't vote on it today, but my request, the point is to request that it's put on the executive committee agenda. The resolution was prepared by the state's attorney's office and the money is in our budget. Okay, so that's the first one.
Very good.
Number two, we spend nearly $1.3 million for accurate financial information each year, $1.3 million. Yet when I look at the information given to the board, county staff, and the public, I am confused. And frankly, I think you should be confused. And I have two examples today. The first one is I'm naturally close to the numbers in the treasurer's office. When I look at the January 28th, 2026, yes, that's the right one, Blair, thank you. When I look at that report, it says, and it's the same number in this month's report, the February 25th report to the Finance Committee, it shows that the general fund interest income is 18% underperforming. So 18% underperforming against the budget. That's $329,600 thousand and it's the second worst performing office and department in the county, which is disorienting. It's so far off. So if you could show the next slide. So I took a look, let's compare things to a reality. Compare it to cash on cash, where it's these numbers are reconciled to the penny each month and then published. So a ton of money is made cumulative. So that's not an underperforming, it's an overperforming. If you go to the next slide, on the next metric, against expectations, you get this report every month for the last 3.5 years. It's overperformance. The next slide. A ton of money is being made annually against a base rate from about 3.5 years ago. Then the next slide. And again, cash in the bank compared against benchmarks. I mean, these are international market benchmarks. Again, the facts show overperformance, additional performance. And then finally, the last metric is this is a comparison from 3 years ago of what basically the balance sheet was for the bonds that we held. The circled amount at the top shows that there was an unrealized loss of $2.3 million, and come forward to just a couple of months ago on December 31st, 2025, what was a loss is now a gain of 2.4 million. So that's a $5.7 million improvement in basically the capital gains on our bonds. So it confuses me to have a report come out that comes to the finance committee and to the board and to the public that is so far off. You try to find a diplomatic word for when numbers are that far off. So that's the first example, a little close to home. But I think even more important to members of the committee is that if you'll put the next slide up, the cover. Two or 3 months ago, I asked anybody in the room, and I said I'd give a quarter to anybody who could find the totals on any of the pages of the finance committee report for all the budgets. I mean, you have hundreds of pages in the reports. Ask for the total in the budgets. Cliff Surges raised the ante to 50 cents, but eventually about 6 weeks later, we did get totals. But when we got those totals, if you go to the next page, and I'm sorry, this is a little small, but if Blair will go to the top line where the red circles are toward the top line, basically those numbers are $90 million of total expenses for 2019 pre-COVID, 2020 about the same, and 2001 was about 108. However, if you go to the next chart, which is one of the accounting department's reports to the board, okay, and now if you go to the next slide, it shows expenses. If you go to the red circled numbers, even according to accounting department numbers back in the May 29th of 2024, so almost 2 years ago. But according to that report, the expenses were 78 million, 65 million, and then 77 million. And again, the reason why I included the 2019 and why you should want to include 2019 is comparability. COVID, I understand, made, everybody's job analyzing things a little bit more complicated. But if you go to the next slide, the bottom line on all of this, the bottom line on all of this, according to the managing partner of our outside auditing firm, is that the reports that you get, and you need to, in my opinion, humble opinion, you need to insist on them tying out to the county audits. And then those tie out to the annual comprehensive financial reports, the ACFRs, that are filed with the state of Illinois under the penalty of perjury, just like when we file our own taxes during this time each year. It should tie out to the ACFRs. So then when you go to the those reports, and there's a lot of pages, but I won't take you through all those. I'll get to the point. I went back to each one of these reports is about 450, 500 pages. I went back to, well, what are those numbers? And the numbers are much closer to the May 25th report that showed this in 2019, showed the 78 million. So on these, in this first report, it's page 17 out of the 450, 500. The number is confirmed in a second source on page 110, a third source on page 116, fourth source page 155. The same pattern holds true in 2020, where it's on page 18, page 115, page 122 and 123, and page 159. And then, 2021. The bottom line, if you go to the last page, good. It's a fair question to say, well, what's the basic difference, Chris? And why does it matter to any of us in this room, and why does it matter to the public? The difference is the right-hand column circled in red for both expenses and for revenues. In the first year, the difference in the expenses is about 12,200,000. And please remember, this is pre-COVID. $12 million difference. Next year, 2020, is a 23.7 million difference. And in 2021, about 29 to 30 million difference. You say, well, why should we care? Well, first of all, you're paying a lot of money to get accurate information and analysis and budget negotiations. As a spectator to the process, I don't think that you've gotten analysis that the board was used to previously, nor do you get budget negotiations, individual board members, and it's a choice that's made, do that negotiations. It used to be quite a bit simpler with less controversy. But then you say, why does it matter? And that's the bottom row. On the one hand, if you use the higher numbers in the adjusted totals, it shows that in the last 5 years, or in the 5 years between 2020 and 2025, 55% increase in the size of the county government general fund spending. However, the accurate numbers, according to ACFR, according to audits, according to confirmation of the county outside auditor, Mike Malott, it's 110% was that growth. So I know that the board is currently, so that's just the numbers. I think my point is that you need to start from accurate, firm base of numbers. I know everybody is working very hard to rein in some of this, and progress was made last year, and I believe that more progress is going to be made this year, but you really have to clean up the accuracy of the information you're being given. That's my treasurer's report for today.
Thank you, Mr. Lawson. Any questions for the treasurer? Mr. Gripe?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Lawson. Going back to the numbers on the interest income, I guess my general concern is how numbers that are being reported to this committee, to the board, can be so far off from one perspective to another. I mean, if this was my tax return, I'd be sitting in jail, thanks to the IRS. But I'm just curious how it could be so far off. And, I think the unfortunate thing is we all know how hard this committee worked to get the budget back in line last year and is working on that this year. But if we're not getting the right reflection of that, it's a concern that, what's really going on, are we better than we're expecting? Are we not as good as we're expecting? And I see absolutely no reason why all the numbers for all the different departments shouldn't tie together. And this is a major concern to me.
May I respond?
Yes.
Uh,
Mr. Rosenbaum.
I have an opinion, Mr. Gripe. You're absolutely right. These are management reports. You consume this information in order to make important decisions that affect 532,000 people who are residents in Kane County. I think everybody in this room knows that there's a political answer to that question and there's a bookkeeping answer. I won't touch on the political answer to that one, but on the bookkeeping, what's happening with the interest income, and I've said it several times, I'll try to say it clearly, is that the accounting department is putting form ahead of substance. Substance is cash on cash, reconciled to the penny every month, cash on cash money. Bookkeeping entries are, and I'm bookkeeper my whole life. I've been paid for 50 years for taking care of bookkeeping, accounting, and taxes. But bookkeepers sometimes get fascinated with a fancy entry. What happens here is that there's a projection of what the ending balances are going to be in something like 250, 300 funds in the county business. Based on that ending balance, they divide the interest income that's made on the charts that I showed of, again, $20 million a year. That's divided among all these different departments. And as the analogy that occurs to me is it's like spread around like it's a puddle, water in puddle. When the sun comes out the next year, all that money it evaporates and you don't really get any benefit. What should happen with interest income, and my recommendation will stay the same this year, is you make a water tower so that it's aggregated so that you can use it for the power of balancing the budget. So it should be aggregated rather than spread out. It's a fancy, then, they press a button and it's spread out to all those, and everybody has like walk around money, which it doesn't do you as a board or the people who we all serve any good to have it spread out like that. So the answer is, in my opinion, the bookkeeping answer, more importantly than the political answer perhaps, is that it's being form ahead of substance. Bookkeeping rather than board decisions.
Thank you, Mr. Gripe, for the question and Mr. Lawson for the answer. I think ultimately what we want to do going forward now is make sure that each and every year we reconcile the annual comprehensive financial report with our numbers to make sure they're the same. And if they're not, we'll define why they're not and get it corrected. So I appreciate the information. Mr. Sanchez?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Lawson, thank you for bringing that information to light. I'm sure Ms. Hopkinson will be able to address it in her portion of the meeting. With your report, I know we've kind of talked about this a little bit before. It's about 228 pages long, if my count is correct. A lot of it is the supplementary information, and it would seem excessive. My question I think is, what is the expectation you have of committee members? Do you expect us to every month go through all of those articles that you photocopied and read them and understand the point you're trying to make? I'm wondering if it would be easier to simplify it and put all the links to the articles in one document, and you can have notations for each, because I know you do put notations on the articles to elucidate certain points. Is that something you'd consider doing? I'm just curious, again, what the expectations of the committee members are on that supplementary information.
I really have no expectation from committee members. I figure I offer information that comes across my desk. It has multiple perspectives. If people are not interested in looking at it, it is their prerogative. They don't need to. I learned as a child, I've taught my children, and my children are teaching their children, that leadership is the ability to see beyond the horizon and then the personal discipline to make the journey to get there. If we don't try to see beyond the horizon, which is what information provides us, I don't think we go off on a journey that doesn't have any context to it. So I do separate those so that anybody who comes in the report to context, they can say, oh, this is context. I don't agree with this information, even though the sources are listed. That's okay. Just ignore it, go on to the next. So I have no expectation of county board members with the information. I just supply what I believe are interesting, useful perspectives, but I understand if people don't agree with me.
I think even maybe a summary of how you see the horizon turning out would be helpful as well. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez, for the question, and Treasurer Lawson for the answer. Any other questions, concerns from the committee? Seeing none, we'll move on.
Bill, it's Cliff.
Yes, Mr.
Yeah,
Sanchez.
I'm so sorry. Chris, I just want to, you know what? I just wanted to say thank you. You know, there's times when, you know, we're looking at these reports and they can be overwhelming. And I know that, at least for me personally, I don't have a problem acknowledging my shortcoming and just picking up the phone and calling you or Kathy or whoever, trying to get my arms around it. But as you guys see information that you think doesn't look like it's reporting right, you know, I think we all understand that statistics can be made to look, you know, any way you want them, but, you know, but really what you're trying to do is just be accurate and make sure the content is specific to what the meeting is. And so I appreciate you guys both and all taking the time to at least help educate us. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Surgis. I think ultimately what we want to do going forward, as I said before, is make sure that our numbers coincide with the ACFR, which is the Annual Comprehensive Financial Reports. And we will address this with Ms. Hopkinson and see if she can't give us some kind of a clear explanation of how that works out. Obviously, we won't do it at this meeting, but going forward, I'd like to start looking at that at least on a quarterly basis. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, once again, thank you, Mr. Lawson, for your report and the information. Moving on to the auditor's report, Ms. Swegman.
Hello, good morning. We did submit our reports last week. I do want to point out that we did conduct a Menards rebate audit. We did this a few years ago, came back with the same results. This time, we'd love to have a policy regarding rebates, but we presented the information to the committee for their review. Other than that, I can answer any questions there might be.
Thank you
Can we,
very much.
Bill, it's Cliff, can we simply
Yes,
give a quick
Mr.
synopsis of that review?
Yes.
Okay, so the audit came back with having a few different departments that are utilizing the Menards rebates, and there is no county policy, so there is no consistency on how the rebates are being handled in the county's possession or how they're being utilized. We do have a couple departments that are doing really well treating them like cash, but that is not necessarily a process that's handled through every department or office. Not every department or office is submitting their rebates to get the rebates. So there is just missed opportunity, and we'd like to see an expectation in a policy from the county.
So I'm so sorry. So there's no implication that rebates are coming in and not going where they're supposed to. It's just underutilization of the rebate program.
That's not the direction of our audit. It was more of the process, the policies. There is certainly the potential that rebates are being outside of the county possession. It's not something that we found, but previously we had found that there were some rebates that were unable to be located.
So, Ms. Wegman, I appreciate you notifying us of this. What would be your suggestion? It sounds to me like we're not utilizing all the rebates, and if we are, we're not reporting them correctly. How do we correct this situation?
We would like to see a rebate policy set up much like a petty cash policy, just that there's documentation and a paper trail for the rebates that come into the county. I think that's a good start.
Okay, good. I think if we could, I'd like to ask you if you could possibly talk to Ms. Hopkinson, coordinate some kind of a policy through the state's attorney's office that we could look at and possibly pass and implement in the county.
Sure, we can certainly have a conversation with Kathy and she can create the policy as that's under the finance department and not the auditor's office, but we can have the conversation.
Okay, that'd
Absolutely.
be great. Thank you very much. Mr. Gripe?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thanks for the update. The Menards thing concerns me because we've, in the past, this committee and I think others have talked about how much money is spent at Menards. And I had asked the question when I was newer on the board about, are we taking advantage of rebates? And the answer was, yeah, we try to do that. Absolutely. Because I do as a personal. So, and it can be pretty significant and I don't spend the kind of money the county does. So my concern is, and what I heard is happening is that there's three things going on. One, that rebates are submitted and the money comes back and it goes back into that department's budget or cash, whatever. Number two is that the rebates are being submitted and the money comes in and it's not necessarily getting back to the department, which means somebody who shouldn't be holding that money is holding it. Or number three, we're not submitting the rebates appropriately, and that's money that the county is due and doesn't get. So I know from doing this as a individual that it's not complicated, and I would love to see this expediently handled, maybe even bringing it back to exec for exception to go through for the board to approve this policy. This is really simple to fix, and I'd be glad to write up a policy just says, if you spend money at Menards, get a rebate, get the money back, give it to your department, done. But I'm concerned that there's potentially some things that aren't necessarily kosher going on in some departments, and that really concerns me. So I'm glad the auditor is looking at it, but I think we need to nail that down real fast.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Gripe.
Ms.
Bates?
Thank you, Mr. Gripe, for offering to write this, but who should write it?
The state's attorney's office.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Gripe could talk to the state's attorney's office, work with them in order to get this written and move it ahead as quickly as Mr. Gripe suggested as possible. Mr. Penesis?
Yeah, this rebate program, there's actually lawsuits that were filed regarding that, but that has nothing to do with us. I think, the first step in this whole thing is to make sure that we're utilizing these rebates. It's money that it's not cash that you get. It's services from Menards that you purchase. So I think the first step is just to make sure that when you have that receipt, you have that rebate at the bottom that you have to submit. And if it's not submitted, we have to find out, where is it? Where did it go? Where did that money go? That's the first step in this whole thing. I don't think it's going to be as easy as you say, John. I think it's going to be, it's going to require a little time commitment.
If I may, we do, as the accounts payable process, we do function with the requirement of having the rebate attached. If there's a rebate going on, we have that part of it under lock and key. It's really when it comes to submitting the rebates, how are you submitting the first and last name? What address are you utilizing? Because all of that, we can track it, but it has to be consistent. And it's part of the inconsistency that creates the problem, or one of the challenges. Another challenge is that elected officials have the authority to do what they want with the rebates. And some of that is they use Menards rebate or Menards and they don't submit their rebates.
great question and statement you made there, Mr. Pennis. And we will leave it up to the auditor and the state's attorney's office and possibly Ms. Hopkinson to get this resolved and hopefully get a policy written that we can review and decide upon in the very near future. I don't think we can do it in the next week. It'll probably be a month, but I think Mr. Gripe's sense of urgency is well founded. Any other questions or concerns for the auditor? Seeing none, thank you very much. And now I know you have 3 resolutions. I'll handle those for you if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Okay, our first resolution through the auditor's department is resolution number 26-270. And this is simply the resolution approving the January 2026 claims paid in the amount of $14,630,432.75. I need a motion and a second.
Genesis will move.
Genesis will move.
Pepe seconds.
Tepe will second. Any questions, concerns, comments on that? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Sturgis,
Sturgis, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to the second resolution, which is 26-271. This resolution is acknowledging the annual review of the number of procurement cards issued to the auditor's office and each of their transaction limits. We have 1 card that we're approving here today, and I need a motion and a second to discuss and hopefully approve.
Sanchez will move.
Genesis will second.
Mr. Sanchez moves, Mr. Pennis seconds. Any questions on that? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis, Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Sturgis,
Yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Our third resolution under the auditor's purview is Resolution 26-272. This is approving 1 personal expense voucher reimbursement in the amount of $196.91. And this is past the 60-day period through the health department. So we need a motion and a second to discuss and pass.
Sanchez will move.
Pepe seconds.
Mr. Sanchez moves, Ms. Lewis seconds. Any questions on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Sturgis,
Sturgis, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Thank you very much. I think we've completed that section. We'll move on to the finance director's report. Ms. Hopkinson?
Hello. I'll just start off with a couple of slides going over the general fund general account for 2025. And this is probably the last time, yeah, we had that slide up, the slide that you just had up. Next, there we go. This is probably the last time we'll see this slide because then we'll be moving into 2026 reports. As of right now, and we're pretty close to closing the 2025 books. We're still posting a few small accruals, but these are pretty much close to final. The 2025 actual amount of fund balance reserves that were used is 18.8 million. The county budgeted to use 27 million in reserves. 18 million is obviously a lower amount of reserves used. Better than budget, but still not good. I mean, we should be at 0 or we should be in a surplus mode. So a negative amount there means that we're using up our fund balance reserves, which jeopardizes our ability to meet our 90-day reserve requirement. The reason why we're a little bit ahead of budget, revenue came in a little higher than expected, and expenses were a little lower than expected. On the interest revenue, and I think this is a question of policy versus accounting. The county brought in $22.7 million in interest earned in 2025. Interest earned is allocated to all the funds in the county based on their cash balance at the end of each month. Our general fund general account, because our reserves keep going down, has less cash in it than a lot of other funds in the county. So when you allocate interest earned based on the amount of cash in that fund, and the general fund general accounts cash is going down, it's getting less interest earned. So that's why that is happening. And that's the accounting part that's being done. The policy part is, I think, something that has been discussed for several years. Our state's attorney's office wrote an opinion on their interpretation of the laws and regulations regarding which interest earned gets posted to which accounts. We are continuing in the finance department. We are continuing to do what we have always done. The county finance department has always allocated interest earned to all the funds based on their percent to total. So that is the procedure that we're following. There are a few instances where the county board has amended that policy at the board level, and we've moved interest earned. For example, we've moved interest earned from the ARPA funds every year since we've had ARPA into the general fund. That's probably the prime example of interest earned being moved. There still continues to be, I think, a lot of questions about what interest earned can be moved and not moved. There are specific state statutes that require that certain interest earned stays in certain funds. For example, the state motor fuel tax revenue that goes to the transportation department. It is in the state statutes that the interest earned must remain in that fund. There are other funds that the state statutes do not say anything in particular about in terms of whether the interest has to stay in that fund. Again, I'll defer to our state's attorney's opinion because right now that is the opinion that we have to follow. And until we hear otherwise, we are continuing to be consistent with what we've done historically from year to year in terms of allocating interest earned. But I'm open to any questions anybody has on interest earned right now.
Any questions for Ms. Hopkinson? Yes, Mr. Roth.
Roth here. Since ARPA fund, well, it's going to be at zero by the end of the year. It was a large amount. What percent of interest earned went into general fund was because of ARPA? Was it 50% or what?
Right. So all of the interest earned from ARPA is being moved into the general fund general account.
I agree.
And when you look, and this is one of those accounting things, and when you talk about tying out to the ACFR, if you look on this sheet in front of you right now, you see words transfers in under the revenue side and transfers out under the expense side. Transfers in includes the ARPA interest earned. Transfers out includes cash disbursements to other funds. When you look at our annual comprehensive financial report, they don't include transfers in and transfers out under the gross revenue and gross expenses. They include it below the line. It still is a deduction or an increase to your fund balance. But for simplification purposes, on a month-to-month report, we just show transfers in and transfers out as part of total revenue in or total revenue out. But if you open up the ACFR report right now, you'll see a revenue total that doesn't include the transfers in and an expense total that doesn't include the transfers out. And that's done for the sole purpose of basically, from a financial reporting standpoint, that is done specifically to show how a fund is being subsidized from other funds. So if you look at that transfers in number, $6 million came into the general fund general account in 2025. Essentially, it was subsidized $6 million from other funds. It wasn't what I would call a true revenue. And on the expense side, the same thing holds true. It says 12.5 million in transfers out. Those were cash disbursements, yes, but they were essentially subsidies to other funds in the county. So it's still cash, but it's just how you're telling the story and the term, how you're telling the story. So in an ACFR report, the transfers in and transfers out are shown below the line. It's still an increase and a decrease to your fund balance. But in our monthly reports, we just roll it all up because the bottom line is the same number. The bottom line is the same number. So the amount of money that we've been getting from ARPA every year into the general fund is about 1.5 to 2 million. So that's a big number that's going to go away starting in 2027.
Any other questions for Ms. Hopkinson? Seeing none, thank you very
Mr. Chair,
much.
Mr.
Oh,
Chair.
I'm sorry, Mr. Tepe.
First off, I'd like to thank Kathy for taking time out of her vacation to do this. I know this is not the first time she's done this while she's been away on vacation. And I just want to note that her dedication to doing this is quite exemplary. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tepe. Appreciate the comments. Anything else for Ms. Hopkinson? Seeing none, thank you very much, Ms. Hopkinson. We'll talk to you shortly, I'm sure, about working on our 27 budget. You do have one resolution to have moved and forwarded. I will take care of that if that's all right with you.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
The resolution is 26-268. It's a resolution authorizing a number of procurement cards issued to the finance department and each of their transaction limits. It's one card being approved. And if anyone wants to take further look at that, that's on page 628. I need a motion and a second to approve or to discuss and hopefully move forward.
Sanchez moves.
Mr. Sanchez moves.
Tepe seconds.
Mr. Tepe seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Aye.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Sturgis,
Sturgis, yes.
Pepe,
Tepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to new business, we actually have, Mr.
I
Sanchez.
just had a quick question. I don't know if this is something you thought of already. So many of these have to deal with procurement cards, but there's a few peppered throughout that aren't. I wondered if we could separate those and maybe do those up front. I don't know if we have people here waiting to talk about something like the DCO grant. Just a thought.
Well, it's a good thought. We have talked to the state attorney's office about it. I guess we could move all the procurement cards up. Most of those are under new business. So we could probably work that out. I just want the legal opinion on that, Mr. Franks.
You can move anything around that you want. It's just you got to get essentially a tea leaves consent from the board that they don't have any objection to that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. That's a good point. I think we'll do that in the future, although we're probably going to be through most of these procurement cards after today. We'll still have some more. So any questions and concerns or comments on that? Seeing none, we're fine on that. Going to our first resolution under new business, we have actually 21 items under new business, 20 resolutions and one ordinance. The very first resolution is 26-183, and this is a resolution authorizing number of procurement cards issued to Human Resource Management and each of their transaction limits. It is one card, and I need a motion and a second to discuss and hopefully move forward.
Sanchez moves.
Mr. Sanchez moves.
Pennis second.
Mr. Pennis is seconds. Any questions on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Aye.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Pennis, yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-201. This resolution is authorizing the number of procurement cards issued to Kane County Emergency Communications, KaneCom, and each of their transaction limits. It's one card, and I need a motion and a second to discuss and hopefully approve. A
Pennis
motion and a second.
moves.
Mr. Pennis moves.
Sanchez seconds.
Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Aye.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Pennis, yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Thank you very much. Resolution's approved. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-136. This resolution is authorizing the number of procurement cards issued to the Office of Emergency Management in each of their transaction limits. There are 3 cards being asked for approval. I need a motion and a second on this.
Sanchez moves.
Pennis second.
Mr. Sanchez moves. Mr. Pennis is seconds. Any questions, concerns, comments? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Aye.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Pennis, yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Our next one is an ordinance, and it's 26-137. And this ordinance is amending County Code Section 2-212, purchases below the simplified acquisition threshold. What this is, and Scott's here in case we have any questions, but basically what we're doing is we're asking for approval for the director and the director of purchasing to approve these without having to go through a bid process. These are when emergencies occur and there's a need for urgency to get these funds allocated so that they can purchase whatever is needed in an emergency. And it would allow any amount between 10,000 and 30,000 to automatically be approved through OEM and the director of purchasing. I need a motion and a second on this.
Sanchez will move.
Mr. Sanchez moves.
Pennis second.
Mr. Pennis is seconds. Any questions on this? Mr. Sanchez?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have one thought because there has been a lot of conversation about the term emergency and knowing that terms sometimes have multiple meanings depending on the context they're being used. I wonder if it would be worth putting a whereas clause that just puts the definition that a local government operates under when they use the term emergency, because it's not the normal term usage.
It's a very good point. I think we could do this in this actual ordinance. This truly is an emergency. We're
Mhm.
talking about a disaster where our emergency department goes out and takes care of problems. So in this case, it does apply. But we could define it better.
It's gonna.
Mr. Chair, it's Sturgis.
Mr. Surges, 1 second, Madam Chair wanted to say something.
Thank you. And I agree with Mr. Sanchez, but I'd like to dive down just a little bit more. Emergency, we knew, we discussed the word emergency enough, but how do we define what is a disaster? And that may be a question not for this board, but maybe for future boards. So definition of how we determine what is necessary and needed. And if there could be some language maybe attached to this, and we can maybe move that to the executive committee. So just to define what is a disaster.
You know, I think that's a great point. I think what we can do is ask our director of OEM to come up with the definition, not today, but maybe at the next meeting, a definition that we can all review and either approve or whatever, so that we have a clear definition of what a disaster is and an emergency.
A real emergency, not a transfer of funds.
Too, though, that confuses people. So yeah, that was my point.
Mr. Surges, you had a question? Mr. Surges?
Technology, sorry. No, my colleagues, you know, the minute Jared said that, of course, the hairs were standing up on the back of my neck as well. So I'm with my colleagues on this. You know, we need some, I think conceptually, we're all okay with this, but without those definitions there, I think we're going to create a hornet's nest for ourselves, and we really need to just add a layer onto this. So thank you.
I think it's a good point, Mr. Surges. Ms. Juby?
So if our threshold is $30,000 before we have to go out for competitive bidding, shouldn't this read 29,999?
I mean, we could define it a little.
Well, I mean, I think we get into if we're required to go to bid for 30,000 or more, and we're saying that he has a threshold up to 30,000, I think we're stepping on where I don't think it's correct. I think it should be a smaller number, what he's authorized to do. Because if he's spending $30,000, he has to go out for bid
Yes.
by law.
And this is under 30,000.
But it says the threshold of 30,000
Okay. Then we
instead
should
of
correct that.
29,999.
Actually, it's a very valid point. Mr. Franks, what is your opinion on that?
Where does it say?
It says less than.
I always see less than
30,000.
everywhere. It says
It's
less than the
less than
simple.
30,000.
Yeah, I'm keep seeing less than, but are you seeing one that
Bottom.
doesn't say that?
So no, the acquisition threshold is 30,000. It is saying less than that, but
Which is 29,99999.
Just another way to put it.
It's,
I just think that in other times when we've had it listed out, we've had it at a lower number, even when we said less than.
Yeah,
I mean, if it doesn't matter, then it
I-
doesn't matter.
Legally speaking, it won't matter. Less than 30,000 means 29,999. So it'll be fine, as long as there's no misses there. I don't like doing it generally when we do it like this, because if you mess up one time and forget the less than, then all of a sudden
Yes.
now we read a million ways. But if no one's seen one that says less than, then I'm okay with it as it stands.
are you comfortable with that, Ms. Juby?
I always defer to the state's attorney's advice.
Thank you very much.
Do so.
Other questions,
Do
concerns?
so at your own peril.
Ms. Bates?
I agree that we need to define emergency better. My dad always said, failure to anticipate future demands on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. This sounds like we didn't plan, but there's so many extenuating circumstances, orders that couldn't be placed because of back orders, or there's a lot of things. Emergency doesn't mean we didn't plan.
Sure.
It means it's now.
Yes.
It's urgency.
There's a sense of, Mr.
Yeah.
Roth?
This is a Roth here. This is an example. It is an emergency, and that's what Scott's asking. At midnight, he's not going to call up Madam Chair and say, "Hey, I need approval." Are you going to be there to sign it? No. So it's trying to be realistic to make it the process.
You know,
So this is a true emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be bickering over is it an emergency or not. This is a fire, a tornado, flood.
Mr. Roth, I agree with your comments. One thing nice about these resolutions and or ordinances, we can always amend them if they're not working properly. So at this point, I think we have something that's workable. The state's attorney is endorsing it. So I think at this point, if there isn't any more conversation, I'd like to call the vote on this.
It's at 3 a.m.
Mr. Beziki is up at the podium. I did actually have a question for him, if just one quick one.
Okay.
Since he's up at the podium.
Scott's at the podium. One quick question,
Yeah.
Mr. Sanchez.
The definition of emergency, do you get that from FEMA or is that a state definition?
We could find a definition. I mean,
Yeah.
what my intent here is for something that's over the weekend, 3 a.m, some disaster. This is not we had a car accident and I need to have an emergency purchase of a new vehicle or something like that. This is when I think I would tie it to, people being injured or death, it could be having to feed people over the weekend because there's 1,000 people displaced from their home. And if we had a large disaster where normally we would ask the Red Cross or Salvation Army to come do that stuff, but if they're at capacity, we are responsible for that. And the point of this is that I don't want to be faced with doing the right thing that might break the rules or say, sorry, I can't help you because I have to get 3 quotes. Because the current code reads that if there's an emergency expense over 30,000, I can go to Madam Chair with the affidavit and proceed that way. If it's under 10,000, I can authorize that on a daily basis. And so as we were writing our new EOP, going through the ordinance, we felt this was kind of a hole that I didn't want to be faced with a tough decision like that at 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's good. You're filling a policy gap, so appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez and Scott, also for the explanation. I think if nothing else, the term sense of urgency or time is of the essence needs to be in those definitions so that we understand that.
Absolutely.
If there are no other comments or questions, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Penisys,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. The ordinance is approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-149. This resolution is acknowledging annual review of the number of procurement cards issued to the coroner's office and each of their transaction limits. There are 3 cards being asked for approval here. I need a motion and a second to discuss and hopefully move forward.
Sanchez moves.
Genesis, second.
Mr. Sanchez moves, Mr. Penisys seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Penisys,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Sis-
Resolution is approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-184. This resolution is authorizing a number of procurement cards issued to the Kane County Judiciary and each of their transaction limits. There are 3 cards in the amount of 6,000, 10,000, and 10,000 as the maximum amount. I need a motion and a second to discuss and hopefully move forward.
Sanchez moves.
Genesis, second.
Mr. Sanchez moves, Mr. Penisys seconds. Any questions, concerns, comments on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Yes.
Penisys,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-181. This resolution is authorizing receipt of the AOIC Modernization Fund allocation grant in the amount of 50,000. I need a motion and a second on this.
Sanchez moves.
Lewis,
Sanchez.
second.
And Sanchez moves, Mr. Sanchez moves, Ms. Lewis seconds. Any questions, concerns, comments on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Penisys,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Our next resolution is 26-187. This resolution is acknowledging the annual review of number of procurement cards issued to the Kane County State's Attorney's Office and each of their transaction limits, and there are 11 cards being asked for approval. I need a motion and a second on this.
Sanchez moves.
Lewis, seconds.
Mr. Sanchez moves, Ms. Lewis seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Penisys,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution is approved. Our next resolution is 26-182. And this resolution is authorizing the annual review of number of procurement cards issued to the Kane County Public Defender's Office in each of their transaction limits. And there are 3 cards being asked for approval here. I need a motion and a second on this.
Sanchez moves.
Lewis seconds.
Mr. Sanchez moves, Ms. Lewis seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution is approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-160. This resolution is authorizing the number of procurement cards issued to court services in each of their transaction limits. It's for 6 cards, and I need a motion and a second to discuss and hopefully move on.
Lewis moves.
Ms. Lewis moves.
Genesis, second.
Mr. Pennis is seconds. Any questions, concerns, comments on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe, Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-151. This resolution is authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with Christian County for juvenile detention services. This creates a daily fee that outside counties will be paying us for juvenile detention here of $225 a day, and it's a 3-year contract. I need a motion and a second on this.
Pepe moves.
Mr. Tepe moves.
Sanchez seconds.
Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions, concerns, comments on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next resolution. Which is 26-185. This is authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with Jackson County for juvenile detention services. Once again, in the amount of $225 a day, and it's a 3-year contract. I need a motion and a second on this.
Pepe moves.
Sanchez
Pepe
seconds.
moves. Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution is approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-199. This is acknowledging the annual review of number of procurement cards issued to the circuit clerk's office in each of their transaction limits. They are requesting 9 cards. I need a motion and a second.
Sanchez moves.
Mr. Sanchez moves.
Genesis, second.
Mr. Pennis is seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution is approved. Thank you very much. Our next resolution is 26-186. And this is authorizing the number of procurement cards issued to the Building Management Department in each of their transaction limits. They're requesting 3 cards. I need a motion and a second on this.
Genesis will move.
Pepe
And-
seconds.
I'm sorry, the second was Mr. Tepe.
Pepe.
Mr. Tepe, did you second that?
Pepe seconds.
Thank you very much. Any questions, comments, concerns on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Passes.
Resolution is approved. Thank you very much. Our next resolution is authorizing the number of procurement cards issued to the Information Technologies Department in each of their transaction limits. They're requesting 6 cards for approval. I need a motion and a second on this.
Genesis will move.
Sanchez seconds.
Mr. Pennis's moves, Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions, concerns, comments on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Burgess, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Our next resolution is 26-231. This is authorizing acceptance of the DCEO Tourism Marketing Partnership Grant in the amount of $100,000. We do have an amendment that we're going to need to have a motion and a second on and approve before we approve it. It is changing the allocation of the monies and some of the item numbers into the different funds that it's going to be allocated to. Does everybody have a copy of this? I need a motion, a second on the amendment first.
No,
No, I'm not.
Pepe moves the original motion.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Tepe. I need a second on that.
Lewis seconds. I think.
Ms. Lewis seconds. Any, okay, at this point now, we're going to go to the amendment. The amendment, as I said, everyone received a sheet on it. They have changed some of the item numbers on it and allocations. It's for the $100,000. So I need a motion and a second on the amendment.
Pepe moves the, change the, partnership grant based upon the information in the, correction in front of us.
Thank you, Mr. Tepe. And a
Sanchez
second on
seconds.
that? Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions on the amendment? Mr. Gripe?
Just point of order, Mr. Chair, should, for the record, for people who aren't looking at that, should those numbers be verbally spoken in?
You know, we could record the numbers if you want. They are on the amendment and they will become part of the resolution. If you would prefer we do that, we can do that. No. Any other questions, comments on that? Seeing none, Savannah, please do a roll on the amendment.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
It's amended.
The amendment to resolution 26231 is approved. Now the resolution itself, which has already been moved and seconded. Are there any questions on that? Seeing none, please do the roll on that, Savannah.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution and the amendment are both approved. Thank you. The amended resolution are approved. Our next resolution is 26-246. This resolution is acknowledging annual review of number of procurement cards issued to the Development Community Services in each of their transaction limits. They're requesting 6 cards. I need a motion and a second.
Thank you. Keep us.
Genesis moves.
Mr. Pennis's moves.
Sanchez seconds.
Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions, concerns, comments on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution is approved. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-152. This resolution is acknowledging the annual review of the number of procurement cards issued to environmental and water resources and each of their transaction limits. They're requesting 2 cards for approval. I need a motion and a second on this.
Sanchez moves.
Mr.
Tepe seconds.
Sanchez moves and Mr. Tepe seconds. Any questions, concerns, comments on this? Seeing none, please do the roll.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. The next resolution is 26-158, and this is authorizing the number of procurement cards issued to animal control in each of their transaction limits. There is one card being requested. I need a motion and a second on this.
Sanchez moves.
Mr. Sanchez moves.
Pepe seconds.
Mr. Tepe seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you once again. The next resolution is 26-248. This is authorizing the number of procurement cards issued to Kane County Health Department in each of their transaction limits. They're requesting one card for approval. Need a motion and a second on this.
Genesis moves.
Pepe
Sanchez
seconds.
seconds. Anybody?
Mr. Pennis's moves, Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution is approved. And our final resolution is 26-138. This is acknowledging the annual review of the number of procurement cards issued to the King County Clerk's Office and each of their transaction limits. I need a motion and a second to discuss and hopefully move forward.
Sanchez moves.
Genesis, second.
Mr. Sanchez moves, Mr. Pennis seconds.
Mr.
Any-
Chair, just a question.
Yes.
They don't have listed for single purchase. Is that acceptable? I don't know what the process is.
I don't know.
Okay, just curious for, edification. And we don't need it answered right now.
We will hopefully move this forward.
Oh, yeah,
At
definitely.
Executive, we'll have an answer
Yeah,
for you on
that's
that.
fine.
Thank you, Mr. Roth.
All right, thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolutions approved. Mr. Roth, I was just told by Blair that these procurement cards don't go to executive or to the board. They're just approved here and move forward.
Okay. that's
So
fine.
we'll get an answer for you on that.
All right, yeah, no urgency.
There's no limit.
Mr. Gripe, do you?
Yeah, a question kind of along Bill's line as well, but with all the procurement cards in the county, I was curious that at the end of when they expire, I'm assuming it's the end of the fiscal year, does that money, what happens to that money? Does it disappear? Does it stay on that card? Does it go back into their budget? And I'm also curious how much total countywide, and nobody's going to know that here, I would assume, but how much is left over on procurement cards by department each year?
I really can't answer that question. What these procurement cards are giving authorization to spend the money. So it has to be within their budget in each department.
All right.
So whether or not they spend all of it or less than all of it in their year-end budget, it shows the total amount that they have left or that they met their budget or exceeded it.
Mr. Leonard.
Mr. Frank has a,
Yes.
So as a P card holder, it's not like an allotment. It's just a credit card.
Okay.
So I have to give the receipt and it'll be paid for out of the budget if I use it. If I were to use my allotment of $10,000, I think Jamie would kill me. So like the idea is it's there for emergencies, stuff like that, that you
Got
need
it.
it. It's not meant to be something that you should try to use.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Juby?
So I noticed that a lot of these procurement cards have single-use limits of 29,000. So how does that tie into what we've just approved for Office of Emergency Management? Does he have a $30,000 P card limit? Or does he have a $29,000 P card limit like all the other P cards that we've just approved?
If we take a look at the emergency management P card request, and I don't have it in front of me, we can look it up. It shows the exact amount. I think they have 3 cards they're asking for, and it shows the specific and the annual amount, the most they can spend. But with respect to the ordinance that we approved, what we were approving today was the ability for emergency management to spend money in an emergency.
I understand that, but if you only are allowed to spend X amount on your P card, does that mean then they'll be sharing that P card to make up that extra amount?
Mr. Leonard.
Yeah, Mr.
They're two separate things. So theoretically, you could use a P card to purchase something that's been authorized after a proper process. Obviously, the treasurer would prefer a check go out like normal, but it could theoretically be done via credit card. It's a separate thing. So the credit card itself prevents from a single transaction over 29,900, which is I think what you're getting at. Because I noticed it as well. Most of them you see are rounded numbers. Theirs is 29,900 because obviously they don't want somebody using a credit card for something that's over $30,000. But think about it as a part of a larger purchase. Somebody could purchase up to $20,000. We've had purchases of that size when you think furniture as a part of a larger construction thing that was already approved through procurement. So it's a totally separate process.
But we're talking about an emergency. So if there's an emergency and he needs to pay for that emergency, and that emergency is $30,000 and his P card is only 29,000, does someone else's P card make up that difference?
Yeah, theoretically, I guess the answer would have to be that because the credit card would not allow for that purchase over 29,900.
Which is why I asked the original question about should we be going all the way up to 30,000? So
It's deference to whatever they want it to be.
Okay.
Whatever you all technically would want it to be. But it sounds like they're okay with 29,900.
And
Mr. Chair, I think Kathy Hopkinson has her hand up, not electronically, but physically.
Okay, Ms. Hopkinson?
Yeah, both. So there's a total, the county has a total cap on our P card spend. And each card across the county is allocated a single spend and a total based on their historical spending. If there is a situation where somebody needs to spend something more than their typical spend, the purchasing department can adjust the spending limits for a month to accommodate a particular spend in a particular department and then move them back to the original caps. That is how it's historically been done.
Thank you, Ms. Hopkinson. And I think the other thing that we have to remember with respect to these P cards, these all go under the department or the elected officials' overall budget. So they can only spend so much. Ms. Chuba.
I understand that. And I understand that if they want to go over what they've typically been assigned, it goes to purchasing. But we are talking about an emergency, a bona fide emergency, a bona fide disaster at 2:00 in the morning. We're now going to be required to reach out to purchasing to have them authorize that additional $10,000 or $8,000 or whatever the difference. I think that whatever the card we allow him to spend for that emergency should be reflected in our ordinance that we are passing. So if we're saying he can spend $30,000, then his P card should say up to $30,000 in case of an emergency. Otherwise, we are creating an issue where we have to find someone else to either add another P card to it, or we have to get authorization, which is what I thought the whole purpose of allowing him these extenuating circumstances was trying to circumvent. I just don't understand why the two would be different. I mean,
The P card can be used in non-emergency
right, but if we're,
situations.
but my question is about an emergency. If there's a bona fide emergency that he has to pay for something that he asked for us to get an authorization for, it means that money has to be handed at that time, correct? Otherwise, it wouldn't be an emergency. So if he's got something that's $30,000, which is what we just allotted him, and his P card only lets him spend 29,000, do we then have to find someone who is around to spend that additional money? Because we can't call purchasing in the middle of the night and expect them to suddenly raise his purchasing card.
Madam Chair would like to answer that.
You bring up very good points. But if we can just pull back a little bit, something happens, a tornado happens at 3:00 in the morning and people are displaced. And there may be a whole swatch of people who need immediate relief. I believe in best practices, because we would say we're transporting all of these people to a hotel. so that they have safe residences. We could then, that morning, starting a business at 8:30, we would be contacting everybody because everybody would know, we'd all be awake, knowing that a disaster has taken place. And the P card at that point through purchasing could be raised to whatever necessary amount would be to accommodate those needs. And pragmatically speaking, unless I'm completely wrong on how things work, even FEMA would say, we have an emergency, find safe harbor for this group of people. And then after we find safe harbor, we will then make sure that everyone is compensated. The businesses who are helping us out will be provided for at that point. But safe harbor is the most critical thing. And that money could be expended that 12 hours later, 10 hours later, depending on the timing, through purchasing. So I don't think that a $30,000 purchase at 3 o'clock in the morning would necessarily happen. I think the first thing is remediate, get everybody safe out of harm's way, protect them, then pay.
Well, I understand that, but if we're asking a third party, a hotel, that's assuming that they're going to waive their prepayment policy.
Well, they would give the debit card, or credit card at that point.
But if you give it and it's over your limit,
Well, then it, I don't think necessarily that would happen, but I can't speak to that hotel. And I'm sure that they have other arrangements made as well with churches and other situations where they would open up the house at 3 o'clock.
okay, I just disagree with the whole fundamental that we're expecting a third party to understand that we authorized more money for what he's allowed to spend than what we're giving him on his P card. So either we raise one
Yeah.
or we change the other.
It's a valid point. I think at our next finance meeting, we need to get together and come up with a clear explanation of how this works. And what would happen in the situation you're recommending. I do believe, if it's a hotel or some other place, and we as a county are asking them to give us 12 hours to get the funds secured, I don't think they're going to turn people away, but they could. So it's a valid concern, and we'll try to define that better for you by the next meeting. Or if State's Attorney's Office or purchasing or Madam Chair, any of those departments and or people have an answer to this down the road after they research it, maybe they could report back at the next Finance Committee meeting.
Mr. Chair,
Just to
sir,
be
just one
clear.
quick question.
Yes.
Are we suggesting that, and maybe I'm just not picking up on this, but are we suggesting that if a department has 3 cards and there was, something that, could those cards be stacked in one day?
Believe they could. If the individual that has a card for 30,000, another one has for 10, if they can get a hold of the individual with the 10, I think they could also use the second card. Mr. Franks?
I'll be honest with you, there's an easy answer to this. I mean, the question, if for business or for building management, is $100 difference. It's not that big of a deal, but for Scott, I'm looking at this, I'm picking up what you're putting down now. It's a 10,000 single purchase versus 15. Why don't you guys just make an amendment, make it 29.9, no different than building management? And then you're talking about $100 gap. If you hit $100 gap and that's the reason this is hung up, I'll be shocked.
We'll
But
pass
I mean,
that.
but a $20,000 difference, yeah, that's very likely to come up. So I think this is an easy fix if, somebody wants to, this has already been voted on, correct? All right.
Sorry.
So someone who's on the prevailing side, please pull your, if it hasn't, has this one been voted on?
Yeah, this one's been voted on and approved.
Okay, so
We can
someone
amend
who
it.
is on the
Reconsider.
prevailing party, hold their, make a motion to reconsider. Somebody second, take the vote, and then let's make an amendment, move this up to a different number. As long as Scott's okay with it, then this can be done today.
Sanchez would move to reconsider.
Need a second on
That's a
that?
second.
Mr. Pennis, seconds. Any questions or concerns on this? And exactly what are we amending this to?
Well, we're not gonna do anything yet. You need to
Yeah,
take the
first we
vote on
gotta
the motion to
reconsider.
reconsider.
Okay,
Once that's done, then it's now open again, open for discussion. And then whoever wants to make an amendment can make an amendment to change for Scott Vizecki, his single purchase up to 29.9, and then a credit limit up to, I think building management had 45. So that's for like the whole month. So
this is
it's
just
up
a-
to you all what you want to
This
do.
is just a motion to discuss.
Right now, no, this is just simply a motion to reconsider. So
Okay.
To open
you
it
need
up.
to take the vote right now and then we can have a conversation about what you want to amend it to.
Okay, would you call the roll on that, Savannah?
Sorry,
She's-
I didn't hear, did you call my name?
All right, Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
So now whoever would like to make a motion to amend this resolution to change the exhibit of Scott Bezecki's, and you need to change either the single purchase or the single purchase and the credit limit. Obviously, the credit limit needs to be above the single purchase. But I mean,
Genesis will move to change Scott Bezecki's single purchase limit to $29,900 and credit limit to $45,000.
I think that's where building management was, yeah. It's ultimately up to you guys.
We can amend it if the numbers are different later, so I'll second that.
Did you second that, Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions, concerns, comments on this? So what we're doing is we are amending the ordinance from $29,900 up to $45,000 in an emergency
Oh, that's-
situation.
No, that's not what we're doing. We're amending TMP 26-136, which is not the ordinance,
Oh, the P card.
which is the P
Thank
card
you.
amount.
Yes. So we are amending resolution 26-136 to increase the P card limit for Scott from $29,900 to $45,000.
No, we're,
Single purchase goes from 10,000 to 29,900.
Yeah.
And credit limit goes from 15,000 to 45,000.
And credit limit goes from 15 to 45,000.
Yeah. Credit
Okay.
limit is for the full month. Single purchases, as you would imagine, a single purchase.
Okay, is everybody comfortable with that? Yes, Roger, go ahead.
Just wanted to add, this is Roger, when you look at the credit card, the P card, the P card is the procurement or the payment method. And the policies for purchasing and procurement still apply for the department. So anything under $10,000 micro purchase is a single quote. 10,000 to 29,999 is 3 quotes. We still have the limitation that if it's $30,000 or more, you would get a bid or an RFP, and then you would bring it to the board. The OEM portion of this would be for the $10,000 to $30,000, they can make the transaction, or 10 to 29,999. They can make the transaction, and that purchasing requirement for 3 quotes would not exist. So they could go and make the purchase and not worry about the other procurement methods or the procurement requirements. The card itself is just the payment method.
Thank you, Mr. Fonstack. Any other questions on this, concerns? No, I don't think so. I think we'll take the vote.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Leonard. I'm sorry, Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
And I just actually received
Surges.
confirmation that it did.
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Passes.
Okay, great. We've got that resolved.
That was
Um,
just the amendment.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That was just the amendment. Now you have to vote on it as amended.
Okay, now we have to vote on it as amended. Any questions, concerns on the amendment?
Hey, don't blame me, blame Roberts.
Savannah, please do the roll on that.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Genesis,
Genesis, yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Pass it as amended.
Okay, we got the amendment to resolution 26-136.
Mr.
That
Chairman,
amendment-
this is Alan.
Yes, Miss Allen.
I'm not on your committee, but I just wanted to say thanks here. Thanks to Ms. Juby for pointing out the discrepancies so we can get it right. Thank you to Mr. Frank for telling us how to do it. And thanks to Roger for just putting it into simple language for the rest of us. Nice job, you guys. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Miss Allen. And we do appreciate what Ms. Juby brought up and the fact that Mr. Franks gave us the direction on it and that Mr. Fossack gave us the actual explanation of it. So I think we're in good shape now. I appreciate all the information we did on this. And we're going to move ahead. Is there any old business that needs to be discussed? Seeing none, we're going to move on. I need a motion and a second to place our reports on file.
Genesis moves for unanimous consent to place reports on file.
Any concerns, questions, comments? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this. Okay, no objections. The reports are placed on file. I do have one quick comment I'd like to make, and that is that over the last 3 weeks or so, we have had a meeting on the 27 budget. We want to get that going. We would like to hopefully get the budget in place, not necessarily approved, but in place by midsummer if we could, so we're not moving to the very last minute to get things approved. In our 2 meetings that we have had, we are working on the budget that we would like to propose. But before we do that, we're going to be talking to a number of the elected officials. And Mr. Tepe and I on Monday are starting those visits. We really, at this point, don't want anything out publicly about what that amount is until we talk to the elected officials and department heads to get their approval on it. But as this goes forward, we will keep everyone on the finance committee completely involved in what's going on. This is not a private thing that we're doing. We're just trying to do it privately. So if anybody has any questions or concerns on that, feel free to give me a call or Mr. Tepe or Mr. Sanchez, the vice chair, and we'll try to fill you in on any details. Ms. Bates.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. If you are sending out emails to the members of the committee, would you please include the full board?
We are not sending out emails.
Okay, thank you.
So, thank you very much. Anything else? There's no need for executive session today. I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
Moves.
Mr. Sanchez moves.
Genesis second.
Mr. Pennis seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.